Well, hey, it's Brad, and on today's episode, we're going to be planting some trees. So if you've been watching my channel, you actually know I like to take down a lot of trees, whether it's to clear some space for some switchgrass or to open up an area for a food plot, or just to take down some of the dead and dying trees that have been affected by the emerald ash borer. I take down a lot of trees. But today what we're doing is what has become an annual experience for me, and that is to plant seedlings at the hunting property. The reason I'm doing this is because I have a lot of a border area that I am trying to essentially hide from anybody else. And so a lot of what I'm doing is planting trees in order to really secure the border visually. I typically get seedlings from the Iowa DNR, and I have mine today. So let's get in the truck and let's get rolling. All right, so we made it out here. Just a little recap of what we're gonna be doing. So I have about 50 Norway spruce and 10 to 15 silver maples that we're gonna be planting for different reasons. So the spruce are gonna be going along the eastern side of the border, and you can kind of see now kind of the edge of the border there where there's a fence. The green grass going up that's growing very rapidly. You can see some orange flags. Those are all places I'm going to be planting Norway spruce. Right next to it is kind of brown, some yellowing flowers there, or weeds. That's where we're going to have switchgrass all the way up, so that's going to hide my access. The Norway spruce is not necessarily to hide my access, but it's just a border as the time goes on. So we're going to get those in. So a couple things though, this is the third year we're putting this in. And when I say we, first year, my lovely wife came out and helped me put, 35 in or so, and it was before we did anything to the property. So we were literally throwing a wheelbarrow across the creek with all of our trees and our equipment and some mulch. It was pretty miserable. So props to her. She was very helpful. And unfortunately, because of the drought we've been having here in Iowa, majority of those have died. And you're right, you heard me, it's year 3. Last year I planted some more, and same thing happened. So a couple things that you need for trees to grow. Number one is so important as water. And the next thing is to take out any competition. So one of the things that you probably saw me loading onto the trailer was the zero-turn mower. I was planning on taking out all of this grass and really this is grass, because it competes with the trees as they're growing. So a lot of the grass will outcompete and steal water from the trees. So that was a big issue as well. The other thing is that not only did we have a drought, but I had no way to get water out here very easily. So now that I have my Kubota, I'm going to be able to take some opportunities to get some water out here. So you'll see that in a later video. A lot of rain out here yesterday, catch 22. It's great, great for the trees, great for food plots later, getting that moisture in the ground, but it is a muddy mess. So we're going to just avoid the mower out here today. I do have a brush hog. I can hit this later. So I'm going to go old school. We're going to still need to clear out some area for the trees we need to plant. So I'm going to grab my steel trimmer, and it'll go fast for you. I'll speed it up, but it's going to be a little bit of a pain for me, but got to get it done. We're going to get more rain tomorrow, so I got to get this stuff in. So anyway, let's get to it. We'll get that done, and then we'll talk a little bit about the trees and the methods we're going to plant them by. All right, enjoy. I won't. All right, so we wrapped up the weed whacking. We got all of it taken care of. I think I had about 10 survivors out of all those. Again, they don't look great, but the bottom line is that they are still what we call candling out. They're starting to have new growth, and because of the root structure, we're going to keep them. If we need to do something later, so be it, but we're going to let them do what they can do. So the next step is going to be the preparation for the planting portion. And we really have two options. So if we are doing hundreds of trees, I would definitely do it differently than I'm going to do it. Last year, I did something different. It was much quicker than the first time we did it. But I used this. So this is actually called a tree spade. This is actually a really nice one. It's called the Bush Pro. Got this last year. It works really well to get it done quickly, and we'll demonstrate that in just a minute. We're not going to do that today, but this is a great option if you're doing a lot of them. But the first year we put the trees in, we actually used an auger. So the auger allows a little bit more space. It kind of gets the ground a little softer and go a little bit deeper. And that allows for better root expansion. So one of the things that I forgot to mention when we talked about the viability of a tree, or any plant for that matter, is concerns about the root structure when you actually plant it. Now, if you get a pot from a garden or Home Depot or wherever, Lowe's, and they'll tell you make the hole twice as wide as the pot that you're getting the tree or plant in, and as deep. And the reason for that is that you want to make sure that you have room for the roots to start expanding out. So now all of the trees that I have here, the seedlings, are bare root. So this is a great example, great looking Norway spruce. Here, I'm going to come a little closer here. You can see all the great root structure in here. A lot of great opportunities here for expansion. And you'll notice that when I have the tree spade, I am just literally opening up a slit in the ground, and I'm trying to get that in there, and it's going to be pretty tight in there. Is it still possible that it could survive? Had some come off there? Yes, it is. But if we have a little bit wider opening, it'll allow this to, in my opinion, flourish a little bit more. Again, last year, I planted these things. I didn't do a thing with them. I wanted to. I had a big project I was working on to get across the creek, so I honestly did not have time to really spend a lot of time making sure these things survived. This year I will. I will spend more time. We'll set it up for success. We'll get it knocked down regularly with the grass. We'll get water on it, and if we continue to have the kind of water we're getting here with the rain, rather, it'll set us up for success. So let's take a look at the different methods that we talked about, the tree spade versus the auger, and we'll go from there. Wow, so after that tree spade was so easy to do, I'm beginning to second guess using the auger. But the reason I was able to get in easy there was the moisture in the ground, so that should make this just as easy. The benefit of doing this, again, is that you're going to expand the area by which the root system can use. And it will be a little bit on the back because you're going down. I don't have to go all the way down. I don't have to go the full length of this bit. And this bit's a 4-inch bit, so it should give us plenty of room. And let's take a look at this one, all right? All right, let's get her started. Well, that was pretty easy. That is not hard to do at all. All right. So we opened up a little bit bigger hole here, as we mentioned, than the slit that you had from the other one, from the tree spade. So now I have the root structure here. I don't have to compress it as much, so I can stick it down. Matter of fact, I went a little bit too deep, so I'm going to throw in some soil. All right. All right, so there you go. Tree number 2 is planted, and actually I don't think this is going to take as long as I feared with the softness of the soil and the speed by which I can do it. It's going to take less time, I think, than getting the grass cleared out. So all right, well, let's do it. We're going to get all the holes dug, and then we'll come back with all the seedlings, and let's wrap this thing up. wrap up today by planting along the side of the road here. And a majority of the trees that I'm planting here, I'm doing so to provide a visible barrier along the side of the property. And typically I love to use evergreen trees because of them being evergreen. They're gonna not lose their leaves and provide that visible barrier the whole year round. Now, I'm very partial to Norway spruce. These are beautiful trees. You can grow them here in Iowa. They are native. And matter of fact, these are some of the biggest trees that we have on our Door County property. They're absolutely gorgeous. Now, I realize these trees here in Door County have been growing for a very, very long time, so I'm not trying to be unrealistic about the speed of growth. However, I'm gonna plant them a little tighter together to provide a quicker barrier. But to be honest with you, I've been a little bit disappointed with my ability to really keep these things alive. This is not the first year that I've done this, and matter of fact, what I'm doing right now is I'm replacing several trees that did not make it here at the side of the road. Now, could I have done a better job with watering? Yeah, absolutely I could have, and I'm gonna try to do that this year. But I'm gonna call an audible today, because as I was driving around the property, I had totally forgotten about something, and that is I had purchased several, I think 25 Eastern Red Cedars from the DNR last year that I didn't end up using, so I ended up potting them. And matter of fact, I totally forgot about them, and they are actually doing really, really well. I actually found them in the woods, and I'll be honest with you, these are not as, I don't like them as much as the Norway spruce, but they are native to the area. We have several growing around the property here, so they are part of the landscape. But the bottom line for me is I want to have quick growth, and you got to take a look at what we have here at our home property. These trees right here, this tree right here was planted 2 years ago. And this is unbelievable. I don't have any Norway spruce that are anywhere close to this size whatsoever. So we're just gonna, I think I have about 11 here that I think are viable. So we're gonna plant 11 of these Eastern Red Cedars and fill in the rest with some Norway spruce that I got this year from the DNR. So let's get to work. All right, well, we got all those trees planted, a total of 23 trees, and as it turned out, I had a pretty good mix. I had 12 of those Eastern Red Cedars I was talking about, and then the rest, total of 11 of the Norway spruce. Now, I had to replace some Norway spruces from a previous planting, so it'll be really interesting to see how these grow side by side. Now, I do want to do a better job of keeping the weeds down and making sure that we get these watered if we don't get enough rain here in south central Iowa, but regardless, it will be interesting to see that comparison back and forth this year. Well, I'm so glad we got all this done today because we are getting some rain tonight, possibly 1 to 2 inches, and thankfully it doesn't look like there'll be anything severe. So really good to get these trees watered very quickly to get them established and get them going. All right, so as we wrap up, I wanted to talk about a few things here. And first and foremost is that as this whole video has been focused on, I am focused on my property of doing border-related tree plantings. Now, for some larger properties, you'll see some people that'll go out and they'll buy hundreds of trees, and they will be planting so many that you really cannot take care of them individually. And you're really just going for a numbers game, seeing how many you could have established. Ironically, about 15 years ago here on this property, the previous landowner had gone through the state and gone through a program that allowed them to plant, I think, almost 8 to 10 acres worth of trees that had previously been on some pasture land. And I'm benefiting from that, but that's not what we're doing here. And so if that's what you're doing, you're probably not going to be able to do what I'm planning on doing with my particular plantings. Is I'm going to be trying to do everything I can to get them to grow, because I want border trees. I want them to fill in a year-round screen for the deer and for me when I'm on the property. So this one's alongside the road, and I'm trying to fine-tune it for my property. Speaking of that, this channel is dedicated to showing you all the habitat improvements I make on my properties and the results of those improvements and how that has a direct correlation to me seeing more bucks. And if you have a property that you're looking for some help with, I would love to partner with you. My company, Elevate Whitetail Habitat Services, is designed to help customize for you a plan to have you see more success and have more big bucks on your property. If you'd like to check that out, you can look at my website. The directions are here. You can find the link in the description. And if you wanted some more information, just fill out the contact form. I'll be happy to communicate with you and would love to partner with you down the road. All right, so we'll wrap this video up. I just want to thank you, as always, for stopping by. I hope you found this interesting, and I really look forward to seeing you next time on Watch Brad Work.